that is literally going to blow your mind. What we are looking at is a raw transcript that documents a highly chaotic and, honestly, totally surreal series of events. We're going to treat this text with the utmost forensic seriousness, because beneath the surface of what looks like just a cute little animal encounter lies a wildly complex narrative of organized crime, kidnapping, and brutal retaliation. It's a straight-up story of survival.
So, you gotta wonder, right? How on earth does a perfectly peaceful little family end up in a literal turf war with a monkey? Let's dive right into this and examine the terrifyingly rapid escalation captured in the text. How do we go from this idyllic nature scene, complete with laughter and family bonding, to a full-blown hostage crisis involving an organized primate syndicate? The answer is hiding in the sudden, subtle shifts in the raw data that we're about to analyze together.
To make sense of this, we're going to break it all down into 5 dramatic acts. 1. A peaceful duck family. 2. The monkey's egg heist. 3. The rescue operation. 4. The violent confrontation. And finally, 5. The emotional reunion.
All right, let's kick things off with Act 1, a peaceful duck family, the calm before the storm.
Okay, so our story actually starts out feeling totally chill, but look at how fast things flip here. On one side, we've got absolute domestic bliss, someone saying, "Give your daddy a big hug," right alongside some happy laughter. It's a moment of pure vulnerable joy. But then, bam! Literally the very next second, without any warning whatsoever, we're hit with straight-up screaming. The whiplash is just intense. It just shows you exactly how fast things went completely south for these guys. And to really hammer this home, just look at the last thing we hear right before the chaos. Chirp, chirp, chirp. We can basically define these simple chirps as the literal final sounds of innocence before this unseen threat shatters the family. I mean, it's totally crucial to understand this baseline of peace, you know? They weren't on guard at all. They were completely exposed when the attacker swooped in. Moving right along, here is Act 2, the monkey's egg heist, anatomy of the crime. Let's see how this screaming turns into a highly organized, full-blown kidnapping. This timeline maps it all out chronologically. First up, Step 1, the horrifying discovery that the nest is completely empty. Then, Step 2, the totally panicked parents stumble upon this mysterious guide who offers to help, amidst a cacophony of background music and groaning. And finally, Step 3, the agonizing reveal of where the baby was actually taken. Guys, this wasn't just a random missing egg. This was a targeted extraction. The transcript gives us this really raw, direct quote from the victim. They tell this unseen interviewer, "Our egg has been stolen. A monkey took it away." Boom, no ambiguity there. The parents know exactly who they're dealing with. But what they definitely don't know yet is just how massive of an operation this monkey is actually tangled up in. Now here is where it gets crazy. This wasn't just some hungry predator looking for a quick snack. Listen to what the monkey actually says. "Boss, I brought your girlfriend's baby." And the chilling response? "Excellent. This is exactly what I needed." Are you kidding me? This monkey was basically a hired goon working for some shady underworld mastermind known only as the boss. And the incredibly bizarre motive, stealing an egg because it's supposedly the boss's girlfriend's baby, suggests this whole underworld of twisted logic and highly organized avian theft. Which brings us to Act 3, the rescue operation, following the guide. Okay, so the egg is in enemy hands, and it is absolute go time for the rescue. Right in the middle of all this panic, an unidentified voice just pops up in the transcript and says, "I know where your little one is. Come with me." This mysterious, unnamed informant keeps showing up, guiding these frantic parents through what sounds like a complete madhouse. The transcript literally notes music, panting, and groaning over and over. It's a super disorienting environment. But this guide? They navigate it like it's their own backyard. But wait, we really have to ask, who on earth is this mysterious guide pulling the strings here? The source material literally never tells us their identity. Are they some rogue defector from the boss's syndicate who suddenly grew a conscience? Or maybe just a really benevolent bystander caught in the crossfire? We honestly don't know. But whoever they are the undeniable catalyst that brings these parents face to face with the kidnapper. All right, buckle up. Here is Act 4, the violent confrontation, avian warfare. We are now entering the absolute most volatile part of the story. Diplomacy is officially out the window. The second the duck parent finds the operative, they drop this unbelievably cold, deadpan ultimatum. "Hey, bad monkey, return the baby duck or I'll make your situation very bad." Wow. Zero begging, zero pleasantries. They just immediately threaten the monkey's life and well-being. Now that is a masterclass in hostage negotiation right there. You establish dominance immediately. And honestly, this totally flips the whole vibe of the text. Look at how the monkey responds. Instead of backing down, he literally challenges the duck to a fight, shouting, "Bring it, Buzzball." Okay, we definitely need to define Buzzball here. It's basically this incredibly unexpected, super combative alter ego that gets triggered inside the duck during this standoff. The monkey doesn't look at this duck and see a helpless victim. He sees a seriously dangerous adversary known as Buzzball.
The rapid-fire exchange here reads straight like an intense action movie script. The duck repeats the death threat, "If you want to live," and the monkey just screams back, "You want a piece of me?" And then bam, it all boils over into a sudden physical strike explicitly documented in the text. Hit the monkey. He hit him. These parents do not sit around waiting for the boss to show up. They go straight into violent, tactical action against this operative. Right after the hit, we get this incredibly cinematic line. The duck says, "You move, monkey." Not a chance. This is my turn. Never. I mean, chills, right? This shows absolute physical and psychological dominance. The duck, fully embodying that Buzzball persona now, completely overpowers the monkey to get their kid back. They just neutralized a major threat purely through sheer force and willpower. Which finally brings us to Act 5, the emotional reunion. De-escalation and pride. So the dust finally settles after this brutal fight, and the de-escalation is honestly jarring. On one side, we've still got the intense heat of battle, with the duck yelling, "Get away! I've got you now!" But look at the monkey on the other side. He just completely folds. He says, "It was my mistake. Please forgive me." Think about that. This hardened primate operative working for a major syndicate boss is literally begging a duck for forgiveness. The threat has been totally dismantled. And just like that, in 3 super swift steps, this absolute nightmare resolves into a surprisingly sweet ending. The monkey's surrender is accepted. The baby duckling, who, by some absolute miracle, is totally unharmed, is handed safely back to the parents' custody. And instantly, they snap right back from being these ruthless combatants to just being loving caregivers again. The whole transcript literally wraps up with these lines. "We're so proud. We're so proud. He's a sweet little guy." I mean, despite a terrifying kidnapping, navigating a chaotic maze with a stranger, actual hand-to-hand combat, and so much screaming, it just ends with the parents blissfully reaffirming their love for their sweet little duckling. It's like the whole horrific syndicate ordeal was just a minor bump in their day. But as we wrap up this explainer, I've really got to leave you with this one thought. After experiencing this level of sudden brutality and coming face to face with a shadowy underworld of primate operatives and organized egg theft, can this family ever really go back to normal? Like, what is the long-term psychological toll here? Will our little Buzzball forever be looking over their shoulder, just waiting for the boss to make a comeback? It's such a wild study in survival and hidden animal underworlds. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me to break down this totally bizarre and fascinating story.